Okay, guys, so we're going to start doing the chalking. We're going to put chalk here on this car. And first of all, let me tell you guys how to get the chalk so that it's in powder form. So what I usually do is I just get a piece of paper and I make a tray out of it, right? So I just fold up each of the sides. This is what I used to do. So fold this up. Make sure you get the corner so it doesn't go all over your page and all over your work and all over everything, because the chalk gets really kind of messy if it gets away from you. So get that. And then what I do is I get blue chalk, which you can barely see. You can barely see the thing anymore on this, but that is blue. So I take my razor, my X-Acto blade, and I start doing this. Sure it's blue. I think this is black. Okay, take a little bit of black. Black and the blue has been mixed up together so much that they start looking alike. Okay, so this is black. So I'll put a little bit of the black and a lot of the blue. So that's probably pretty good. And then now I'm gonna get blue. Okay, this is blue. So now I put a lot more blue. I'm gonna mix these together. So again, and try to scrape this. If you go kind of like this, where you're slicing into it, you're gonna get little pebbles in your chalk, and you don't want that. You just want to scrape along the side so you get this sort of powder. Okay, so I'm gonna put a lot of blue, more than the black, maybe twice as much as the black probably. Keep going. Maybe I won't mix all the black. Okay, this is the blue. Yeah, okay, that's a little blue. Okay, so I got enough blue there now. And then what I need too is baby powder, right? Baby powder makes it so that it goes on smooth. So put about as much baby powder as the chalk, as the blue chalk, or maybe even a little bit more, maybe as all the chalk. So you don't want to skimp on the baby powder because it's okay. So now I get my Weeble wipe, right? This is my Weeble wipe, and I'm going to fold it twice, once, twice, and I'm going to use this edge as my application edge. So what I'm going to do first is mix all the blue and the baby powder, and you can see how blue it is. It's almost too blue. That's why that's obviously why we add in the black. So I'm going to just add in the black a little bit at a time, okay? So until I kind of get a good look to it. Let me see. And the way you can tell is after you mix it up, you can see how it gets all over the place, and it's the reason why I make this tray. But okay, so I'll get it off my thing a little bit. So you kind of don't want that kind of stuff where there's black on it, but that shouldn't come off too much. All right, so got the chalk. So what I'll do is I'll kind of go like this, usually on the paper, to kind of see the color of it. And that looks pretty good. So I'll keep it at that. So what I'm gonna do now is make sure there's enough chalk on the side. You guys can see that chalk, right? That's what's gonna go onto my page. So move this out of the way now. So what you want to do is the same thing as when you draw your lines or your marker, right? You can see the markers. I went all the way across. I didn't like go a little bit at a time. My lines go all the way across. I didn't do little scratchy lines, right? Same thing with the chalk. You don't want to go like this. You want to just do a couple of good sweeps, right? So any place that's facing upward, I'm going to put chalk. So here we go. I'm going to do the, again, line in the air, right? And then I'm going to do it sort of right in the middle, right in here. I'm going to start putting the chalk in. And it's going to be darker right in the middle. And then you want to make sure that you leave white before you get down to the marker. Always leave that, right? That's because what happens is the horizon gets lighter before you get to the sky will get lighter as it goes down towards the horizon, right? So I'm going to leave it like that. Make sure it's a nice, clean gradation, right? Smooth. And you can see all the extra chalk on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape that off with the back of my Weber wipe. I'm going to put it back on the in the tray, my tray. Okay. All right. So get maybe a little bit more chalk on here because I'm going to do the body now. Let's see, maybe the other side. All right. Let me see here. So there's a little bit of chalk. That's probably enough. This is tough because what you want to do is you want to put the chalk in here, but you don't want to get it on the marker. So you see how it's really thin right there. And that's one of the reasons why it's an advantage to draw big. Okay, so here we go. We're going to see how we can get it in there without getting onto the black, onto the marker part. Yeah, more chalk than that. A lot more chalk. All right, let's try it again. So I'm trying to stay high, but it looks like we got the chalk kind of a little bit too far down. And then I'm going to go forward too a little bit here. All right, so these are the tough parts now that we're going to do. And that is this little piece here and that little piece there. It needs chalk on it, right? So I'm going to do the best I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all. So this guy, again, you want to get it right in the middle. You want to leave a little bit of white. Obviously, it doesn't look like I'm doing that. So we're going to have to come back in with our kneaded eraser and get a little bit of that out of there. And I'm going to come in here and do this too. A little bit more chalk in there. A little more chalk. Now you can only put so much chalk because the paper won't take, there's only a certain amount that it'll take before it gets completely saturated with the chalk. So you'll find that out when you start doing it. And I'm going to put a little bit here. This is really difficult. So definitely going to come back with the kneaded eraser on that stuff. So there you go. And then a little bit on the wheels. Again, these are facing up. So let's get a little blue area right in there. And a little bit of blue area right in here. Try to get that nice gradation on it. And that is it. Let me get rid of all this other stuff. So you can see it kind of went over a little bit on some areas. That doesn't look too terrible, but if you really want to kind of clean it up even a little bit more, you can by maybe this is a kneaded eraser. You can see that I'm kind of pulling it apart and bring it back together, and it's specifically made to erase chalk. So I'm going to come back here just a little bit. The only problem with using this is it kind of messes up that nice smooth gradation that you have, but sometimes you need it. Okay, and I'm going to erase this stuff because it got on the marker above it, right? So take that off. And I'm going to take off just a little bit here, right at the very top, just before it goes down into the marker area, just to give it a little white right there because it looks a little more shiny that way. And that is it. I think the wheels are okay. And so that's probably the first. That's all we needed, the chalk, maybe a little bit here, just because that's probably facing upward. Okay, blow it. Make sure you don't spit on it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use fixative, right? Pastel fixative. So it'll fix it onto the paper. So when you can't smudge this anymore, right? So Just a light coat. You don't need to like really put it on there really hard, right? It just needs to be, mine is running out. There it goes. So just a few, again, all the way across, right? Just like I did everything else. So probably more than enough. So I can see it's shiny, and that is it for the chalk demo.